report. Once it's submitted, it will be debated in the Lok Sabha. Substantive motion, by the way, requires compulsory voting. A simple majority is needed to pass the vote. But in an unprecedented scenario, the Speaker may also have the Parliament vote on the motion, not send it to any committee at all. It needn't go to the Ethics Committee, it needn't go to the Privilege Committee. It will straight away be sent to the Lok Sabha, which means that if a debate happens in the Lok Sabha, and the voting happens, then the numbers are in the NDA's favor. And Rahul Gandhi, as a result of that debate and a subsequent vote, could be expelled from the Lok Sabha via this substantive motion.
सरकार जो मोशन लाना था उसका हम अभी ड्रॉप किया है. तो एक प्राइवेट मेंबर ने मोशन लाया है, तो कोई भी मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट मोशन ला सकते हैं. तो एक सब्सटेंटिव मोशन लाया है, तो हमने सोचा कि इसको एडमिट होने के बाद हम तय करेंगे स्पीकर साहब से बात करके कि प्रिविलेज कमेटी में या इसको एक एथिक्स कमेटी में या सदन में सीधा हम इसको ला सकते हैं चर्चा के लिए भी.
सदन के पटल पर झूठ बोलना, बेशर्मी से झूठ बोलना, स्पीकिंग फॉल्सहुड इन द मोस्ट अनअबैश्ड मैनर, और बाद में फिर लोकतंत्र को कमजोर करना, ये बहुत पीड़ादायक है. राहुल गांधी जी अलोकतांत्रिक आचरण करते हैं. अपनी पार्टी में करिए, संसद में आप नहीं कर सकते.
The interesting thing is, like I mentioned initially, the government had said before that it will bring a privilege motion against Rahul Gandhi after the entire showdown that took place over General Naravane's unpublished memoir and the charges that he had levelled against Minister Hardeep Puri. But now they seem to have taken another route. You just heard the minister say that a private member, a member of parliament, is bringing in this substantive motion, so we needn't go down the route of the privilege motion. The Congress is asking, why this rethink? Why this U-turn? Or is the government chickening out?
अपने आप को माचो मैन समझते हैं, लेकिन छाती तो अपनी मोदी जी ने नपाई है. 56 इंच की तो उनकी माचो मैन वाली छाती है, तो उनके खिलाफ ही होना चाहिए था.
You removed him the parliament there. After the election, people elected him more majority than Narendra Modi ji. We are not bothered about the privilege, this substantiate. We are not bothered about it. If you want to hang us, hang us.
ये सिर्फ दबाव के लिए है. उन्हें अपनी जिम्मेदारियों से नवरुद आजमा ना होने के लिए है, रोकने के लिए है.
And that brings us to the big questions on which the buck stops here. With the BJP going in for the kill, could Rahul Gandhi really lose his membership? In fact, that's not all that Nishikant Dubey has asked for. He has said that the membership should be terminated and he should be debarred from ever contesting elections. Is that a real possibility now? Could he be out of the Lok Sabha come March, or is this mere saber-rattling by the party and an effort to silence critics? Uncomfortable questions. You want to shoot the messenger. Joining us on the debate, we have Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, political analyst Karan Verma joins us, political analyst Ashutosh, and Abbas Haider, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Shehzad Poonawala, I was reading the notice that has been moved by Nishikant Dubey. First, tell me, how are you going to prove all of this? Because he makes many allegations, and he says Rahul Gandhi has hastened into the world of unethical conduct, become a major constituent of Thugri gang to destabilize India from within, inside and outside Parliament. Then he says something about being the active conduit of Soros Foundation, which is notorious worldwide in destabilizing various countries. He is masquerading in the position of leader of opposition, but is destabilizing a country from within, depicting himself as a macho man. But he is a frequent traveler of various destinations, especially Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand and Bahrain. He neither requests the government to extend his security cover, and the answer to this puzzle lies in his being an active member of the Ford Foundation through his uncle Gladiator cum protector. Is this a roving fishing expedition? And how are you going to prove all of this? Privileges, you could have clearly stated facts and said, look, he said this about Hardeep Puri, it was all on record, it was inside Parliament. All of this Soros, things about Ford Foundation, how is Parliament going to decide on this?
Padmaja, when a substantive motion is brought, there are three routes. Either it goes to a privileges committee, either it goes to ethics committee, or it goes to the parliament itself. And this is purely in the domain of the speaker. So let me not supplant myself and my wisdom over the wisdom of the parliament. If this is brought to parliament in the wisdom of the speaker, it is for parliament to decide how to go about this procedure. But I think Rahul Gandhi's everyday actions and lives are a living testimony of what Nishikant Dubey ji has said. And let me not go too far. Let me just take one or two examples. See, when you're in the grip of Soros, you try to choke democracy. And there are three videos. I see in NDTV all day long. Padmaja, I just don't watch your show, although your show is the best show to watch at 9 p.m. But I am seeing entire day also. 3 videos have come out. One video where Soros gang is abusing the speaker, and 2 videos where Soros gang has taken Supari to attack the Prime Minister inside Parliament. Nowadays, the Soros gang is also taking Supari against various journalists on social media. I don't want to get into that domain. Rahul Gandhi abuses journalists on daily basis anyways. Ashutosh will say something about that. But having said that, after those videos are out, Padmaja, anything is left to see that how they want to choke democracy. And they have said it before कि मोदी को लाठी मारेंगे, कबर खोद देंगे, चलो बाकी छोड़ दो.
Okay.
वो क्या होता है ना, जुबान पर और फैक्ट्स पर ग्रिप नहीं होता राहुल जी का. Just 10 seconds more, 10 seconds. Because where this debate started, Padmaja, I was there last week also on your debate. It started from Naravane ji's book, and Shri Rahul Gandhi had said this.
Making is either Mr. Naravane is lying, and I believe the army chief.
Just 10 seconds.
Okay, I don't think he will lie.
Just 10.
Penguin is lying. Somebody needs to.
Either Naravane ji is lying or either Penguin is lying. यहाँ से शुरू हुई ना कहानी. फिर पार्लियामेंट को डिस्टर्ब किया, फिर स्पीकर को गाली दी, फिर
Shehzad Poonawalla, the motion brought by your party member doesn't talk about Naravane. It doesn't talk about General Naravane. It doesn't talk about Hardeep Puri. It doesn't talk about trade deal. It doesn't talk about Epstein. It actually talks about something completely different. About why is he going to Vietnam and Thailand? Why is he meeting with George Soros or has relations with George Soros? How are you going to prove that? This you could have proven.
Padmaja ji, this is like a FIR. FIR is starting point. It is not charge sheet, and it is not conviction order. So let this be the FIR. Nishikant Dubey ji has given a summary कि ये राहुल गांधी है क्या? He is a Supari agent of Soros.
Okay.
But after that, I am giving you point number 1. I am saying forget 10,000 other, just 5 seconds. Forget 10,000 other evidences I can bring on the table. Today, let us only confine ourselves, and I want to ask my dear friend Ashutosh 2 questions. The way he has targeted the media when the question was asked, and the way he has lied about Naravane ji, because Naravane ji said that the book is unpublished.
Arey bhai, you don't ask the questions. Now let me ask the question. Why are you changing the line of my debate? I am asking about this substantive motion. Let Ashutosh answer on that.
My friend
Shehzad Poonawalla has said, मैंने FIR कर दी है निशिकांत दुबे ने. अभी चार्जशीट भी आएगी. And Rahul Gandhi को sentence कर दिया जाएगा via this substantive motion. Is this a substantive enough charge? Because let's not be, let's not joke about it. There is a very real possibility, Ashutosh, that Rahul Gandhi could lose his membership, and Nishikant Dubey is saying stop him from ever contesting elections. Is that a real possibility now?
See, Padmaja, बीजेपी के स्पोक्स पर्सन में शहजाद पूनावाले को सारे अधिकार है मेरे ऊपर कोई भी कमेंट करने के लिए. I respect him. He is a dear friend. See, 2 चीजें हैं. पहली बात, ये जो सब्सटैंटिव मोशन की बात की जा रही है, ये सिर्फ अपनी झेप मिटाने की कोशिश है. दुर्भाग्य की बात क्या, और मैं पूरे सम्मान के साथ ये कहना चाहता हूं, ये बहुत दुर्भाग्य की बात ये है कि आज देश के अंदर एक ऐसा पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर है जिसको पार्लियामेंट की बारीकियां तक पता नहीं है. वो कहते हैं कि भाई राहुल गांधी आप ऑथेंटिकेट करिए, और राहुल गांधी कहते हैं मैं ऑथेंटिकेट करने वाला हूं. वो जैसे ही ऑथेंटिकेट होता है वैसे ही एप्स्टीन पे, अमेरिका डील पे, अनिल अंबानी पे, अडानी पे डिबेट शुरू हो जाती. पॉइंट नंबर 1. तब सभापति महोदय क्या कहते हैं कि भाई नहीं, वो समझ गया कि खेल बिगड़ जाएगा. उन्होंने कहा कि संसदीय कार्य मंत्री नहीं, मैं जो कहता हूं करिए. उन्होंने बचा लिया. उसके बाद बाहर निकल के कहते हैं कि ये जो प्रिविलेज मोशन लेके आएंगे. उनको शायद ये मालूम नहीं है कि 2024 के बाद से संसद के अंदर कोई प्रिविलेज कमेटी है ही नहीं. देयर इज नो प्रिविलेज कमेटी. और अगर मान लीजिए प्रिविलेज कमेटी होती भी तो ये सारी चीजें आपको ऑन रिकॉर्ड लानी पड़ती. पहली बात तो वो ऑन रिकॉर्ड नहीं है, उनको ये पता नहीं था. ऑन रिकॉर्ड लानी पड़ती तो फिर आप सरकार को फंसाते, क्योंकि फिर उस पर डिबेट होती, एप्स्टीन पे डिबेट होती, पार्लियामेंट्री डील पे डिबेट, सारी डिबेट होती उसमें. और तीसरी बात, वो खुद जो है वो एक इलीगल वीडियो क्लिप को वो वायरल करा रहे हैं. कैन यू इमेजिन अ सिटिंग कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर is forwarding an illegal clip which himself says is illegal. How absurd it can be.
But the thing is that they are not referring to any of that, Ashutosh. Again, they are talking about a substantive motion where immediately Rahul Gandhi can be disqualified. Isn't that more punitive?
Let me complete. Rahul Gandhi probably wants this, that he should be seen to be punished for raising issues in the parliament. Can you find him guilty for what he said in the parliament? If at all, bring some motion in the parliament. What you are saying, Soros से उनका कोई लेना देना है, वो कोई किसी फंड से लेना देना है, यूथोपिया जा रहे हैं, कंबोडिया जा रहे हैं, पता नहीं कहां जा रहे हैं.
Ethiopia नहीं, Vietnam.
Is it a charge? This is hilarious. And who is saying this? The same gentleman who on the floor of the house had done character assassination of the Prime Minister Nehru and Indira Gandhi both. How absurd it can be.
Okay, answer this, Shehzad Poonawala. Now you're basically throwing the rule book. You have come up with something which is far more draconian, far more punitive than even a privilege motion. You didn't want to discuss the substantive issues like Epstein, so you've gone this route. You want to silence the critic.
Padmaja, I want to give my dear friend Ashutosh one advice. He should have become goalkeeper because he keeps shifting the goalpost. कोई गोल ही नहीं मार सकता. Last week I was in debate with him and only thing Ashutosh ji wanted to know was कि नरवणे जी क्यों चुप है, नरवणे जी ने कुछ बोला नहीं है और ये किताब आ चुकी है, नरवणे जी ने ट्वीट किया है, किताब आ चुकी है. आज आई हैव शोन यू द स्टेटमेंट ऑफ नरवणे जी, आई हैव शोन यू द स्टेटमेंट ऑफ राहुल गांधी. तो यू ऐसा गोल पोस्ट उठाकर आशुतोष जी भाग गए तो गोल ही नहीं कर सकते. बस आशुतोष जी, दिस इज नॉट द वे टू डू इट. फर्स्ट टू आंसर ऑन दिस इशू, देन सोरोस कनेक्शन ऑफ राहुल गांधी, इज इट हिडन फ्रॉम यू? राइट फ्रॉम द वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ द ओपन सोसाइटी फाउंडेशन सलील शेट्टी वॉकिंग इन भारत जोड़ो यात्रा टू द पीपल दैट राहुल गांधी हैज मेट अब्रॉड फ्रॉम द सोरोस फाउंडेशन, और whether the OCCRP reports that he has quoted or the Hindenburg report that he has quoted which had Soros involvement in it, or whether it is the Praveen Chakravarti endorsement for Soros' statement.
Okay, so they think they have enough evidence, Ashutosh. They think even for this Soros, his trips abroad, they have enough evidence. They will talk about it.
See,
but Naravane...
Point number one, what Shahjad has said about General Naravane. I stand by what I said.
Yes.
The book is published. Anybody who say the book is not published, I think is living in some other world. The book is in hand. हाथ में किताब है और आप कह रहे किताब पब्लिश नहीं है. Amazon पे उसके पब्लिकेशन की डेट थी. मैंने एक टीवी चैनल पे उसके बारे में बात की. किताब के दाम है, किताब के पेजेस लिखे हुए हैं. उसके 15 मिनट के बाद Amazon से वो गायब हो गया पूरा का पूरा. FIR दर्ज हुई. FIR दर्ज होने के बाद बेचारा बिजनेसमैन क्या करेगा? पेंगुइन वाला बोला ठीक है भाई साहब, आप जो कह रहे हो मैं कर देता हूं उसको. और उसके बाद जनरल नरवणे के पास भी दबाव पड़ा होगा. But the issue is not this. Issue is the point which General Naravane has raised in the book. Why BJP is not discussing the content of the book and about General Naravane. If anybody is misguiding the nation, it is not Rahul Gandhi.
We'll discuss it.
It is unfortunately or fortunately what BJP thinks is a former army chief.
No, we will not discuss that here. You want to discuss it, you please bring privilege against Rahul Gandhi and you discuss it in Lok Sabha. Right now, I want to discuss about the substantive motion. The point is that is this an attempt also? Because I specifically want to focus how the issue of why is Rahul Gandhi going abroad, Karan Verma? Why is he going to Cambodia? Why is he going to Vietnam? जिसको कहते हैं ना हिंदी में कीचड़ उछालना. That basically now you want to make the Indian Parliament the ground for let's talk about all of these salacious things. Why is Rahul Gandhi not taking his security along? Why is he making these secret trips? Soros, Open Society Foundation, all of these things. Is that the real motive of this?
I think establish these links also. Shehzad Poonawala ji just established. Can you hear me?
Yes, go on, Karan.
Yeah. I'm saying he was establishing his links with Salil Shetty. We have all those things right in the public domain, whether it's OCCRP, FDLAP. But besides that, here is a man who himself says that this is a fight against the Indian state. Now, this is an offense, a clear-cut offense of offenses against the state. It comes under BNS, Chapter 7. So, it's clearly established, but I don't think, Shehzadji, I don't think it makes sense. Rahul Gandhi not being in the parliament is bad political news for the BJP from where I see it. So I don't think that will augur very well for you. In fact, you should pray. Rahul Gandhi should always be there in the parliament and he should get uninterrupted time to speak. That is my humble advice. But Ashutosh ji just made a point here. He said this book is published. We can disagree with Ashutosh ji, but he's always been honest. There has been no doubts about that. He is a published author and so am I, and so is Shehzad Poonawalla now. Ashutosh ji very well knows that a pre-booking link is available prior to the release that is not considered as published. Now in January 2024, we had the pre-booking link of this book, The 4 Stars of Destiny. However, the book was supposed to release in May. What was sent out were manuscripts for blurbs for reviews. Now if that manuscript is tomorrow leaked, that can't be called published. Penguin is so categorically clear about it. So why spread this misinformation, sir, when you are aware of this entire procedure as a published author yourself? That is the big thing. And what has General Naravane said? He said for the first time after 1979, we gave the Chinese a bloody nose. He said we've not ceded an inch. Rahul Gandhi said we lost 2,000 kilometers for which he was pulled up by Justice Datta no less. So who is on the wrong side of facts? Who is lying here? Who is spreading misinformation? That is quite clear for the public to see.
If everything is clear for the public to see, again I keep coming back to the point, why not have this debate inside Parliament? Why run away from this debate inside Parliament when Rahul Gandhi wanted exactly that? Now people are wondering, why not move privilege and debate all of this inside Parliament? But I want to quote an example. There is a precedent for something like this happening, immediate disqualification. And how was that done? Let me quote to you an example from Emergency. And here is somebody that Abbas Haider is very familiar, and these days is being quoted a lot, by the way, by members of the India Alliance. You had Subramaniam Swamy, whose words now are being quoted as gospel. Subramaniam Swamy, of all people, had been expelled from Parliament. He was in the Rajya Sabha at that time. Let me give you the exact, the details of when that had happened. So, Subramaniam Swamy at that time had been accused of anti-national activities and he had been removed from Parliament. Let me quote to you from the text of the motion that was moved, and this happened during the emergency. It was done by the Indira Gandhi government. The text of the motion moved said, full reports of Sri Swamy's activities in the UK, USA and Canada are of course not known to the committee, but whatever report is available should show that Sri Swamy was virtually acting as a tool of anti-India elements during his visits abroad. It may be reasonably presumed that these elements had a part to play not only in inspiring his anti-India campaign in foreign lands, but actually organizing it. And Abbas Haider, if Indira Gandhi did it to Subramaniam Swamy, now the BJP is saying Rahul Gandhi engages in those same anti-India activities. He has these suspicious visits abroad and he could also be expelled just like Mr. Swamy.
Padmaja ji, thank you for acknowledging that we are going through another phase of emergency in 2026, exactly 50 years later. But let me tell you, there have been 4 instances where, sitting member of parliament, substantive motion has been taken against sitting member of parliament for their impeachment. And 3 of them have been, about misuse of MPLAT fund. And in one case, it was, taking money for, asking question in the parliament. So there have been 4 instances. So basically, a substantive motion can only be taken up if there is misuse of parliamentary perks, if a parliamentary procedure is been distorted by a member of parliament, and if MPLAT fund and such misconduct has been done by a sitting member of parliament. Now basically the Bharatiya Janata Party wanted to bring up a privilege motion, but this is very unfortunate. The Parliamentary Affairs Minister of our country does not know that a privilege motion cannot be brought against a member of parliament, because Rahul Gandhi is in none of the way he has he can a privilege motion can be taken against him, because the privilege motion can be taken against the sitting minister who has lied on the floor of the house, or there are 3-4 other things, but not in the case of Mr. Gandhi. So the Bharatiya Janata Party government is on back foot. Now they have nothing substantial about against Mr. Gandhi, so they have coming up with substantive motion. Now the vile allegation which
the privilege motion doesn't necessarily need to be against a minister. A privilege motion was done against Mahua Moitra and she was disqualified from parliament.
No, that was a substantive motion. That was a substantive motion regarding MPLAT fund. Yeah, that was not a privilege.
No,
Even
it
a
wasn't the MP
no-confidence
lad
motion
fund
is a
against
kind of
Mahua
substance.
Moitra, Sir Abbas Haider, against Mahua Moitra because she was accused of sharing the password to her Parliament login, and that is why a privilege had been moved against her. It had gone to the committee, a debate happened inside
It has
Parliament,
gone to the committee
and subsequently
of
she had been
privilege.
removed from Parliament.
It has gone to the,
so it's not necessary that privilege is only against a minister, it can be against a member.
No, even a no confidence motion is a kind of substantive motion. That's a different thing. Now, what I was trying to tell you is, in this particular case, in Mr. Gandhi's case, while delegation have been given, it's a notice has been given. The substantive motion has not yet been accepted. It has to be accepted by the Speaker of Lok Sabha. The notice has been given. There are wild allegations.
Okay, these are wild allegations. Answer, Shehzad Poonawala. Same thing that I said earlier. These are wild allegations. And ironically, if you are going to do to Rahul Gandhi what was done to Dr. Swami, you will say कि दोबारा emergency आ गई है. What was done in 1976, you are repeating in 2026. Emergency 2.0.
No. So today, those who are using and latching on to Subramaniam Swami's words as gospel should know what Dadima used to think about him. Actually, it is for them to note. We are not going by any of the 1975 examples. You must have seen in 2005 also, 11 MPs were expelled. And the basis of that was, let me read the motion, that this House taken note of report of committee to inquire allegations of improper conduct on part of members constituted on so and so date. It has found that the conduct of 10 members, namely so and so, was unethical and unbecoming, and therefore they are expelled. So that has been done in Parliament. So the mechanism is right. But I am very saddened that two people on this debate, please sir, I have not interrupted you, Abbas Haidarji, I have not interrupted you. I am very saddened that because Mr. Kiran Rijiju belongs to the tribal community, he is from the Buddhist community, time and again they are mocking him and saying that he does not understand parliamentary procedure. This kind of commentary from Abbas Haider, who swears by PDA, is not expected. Now thirdly, I want to say, why not have substantive debate? You are saying Rahul Gandhi ke khilaf wild allegations. Rahul Gandhi made, just 10 seconds. Rahul Gandhi made wild allegation on Rafale, Supreme Court chastised him. He made wild allegation on Savarkarji, Supreme Court chastised him. He made wild allegation कि सेना की पिटाई हुई, Supreme Court chastised him. And today on Naravane point, when you are cornered completely and you don't have face to show that the book was not published, now you want to escape route.
Padmaja ji, first of all, putting such wild allegation and giving notice to the Speaker of Lok Sabha, instead of giving this notice to the Speaker of Lok Sabha, Mr. Shehzad was talking about an FIR. This can't be an FIR. This should be reported to competent authorities like Directorate of Revenue, Economic Intelligence Unit, but they have not done anything like that because they have not got anything substantial against Mr. Gandhi. They just want to make a joke of parliamentary procedure. They just want to weaponize parliamentary procedure like they have been doing in the past. And
Karan Verma, Parliament for muckraking, and honestly speaking, look what happened in the case of Mahua Moitra. Politically, how is this going to play out? Mahua Moitra was removed from Parliament. 1 year later, she came back, and if I remember correctly, with an even greater margin. The people of Krishna Nagar voted her back into Lok Sabha. You are only going to end up making Rahul Gandhi into a political martyr. You bring a substantive motion, you bring a privilege motion, the man is going to be a political martyr.
So that's what I said at the outset, Padmaja, but that doesn't mean that there is no substance in it. Let's be very clear about it. There are very serious doubts, and in fact there is a lot of evidence to suggest prima facie that this man has had anti-India design right at its core. You look at any organization, whether it's the Indian American Muslim Council, which openly speaks against India, is always there to support Rahul Gandhi. Members of it were there to welcome Rahul Gandhi in US. You look at Sikhs for Justice, they always advocate whatever Rahul Gandhi says. Rahul Gandhi said, can a Sikh wear a turban in India? Sikhs for Justice, who were busy carrying out effigies of his grandmother, they came out in his support and endorsed him, and Rahul Gandhi didn't even rebuff that endorsement. So, there are very serious concerns here. Salil Shetty, Shehzad pointed out. Harsh Mandir, those who had written mercy petitions for Ajmal Kasab and all these people, they were a part of the National Advisory Council that was over the Manmohan Singh government at that time. So, we have a lot of things that would need to be answered honestly.
Okay, so Ashutosh, now the gloves are off. If Rahul Gandhi is going to come and talk about Jeffrey Epstein inside Parliament, basically now the government and the BJP have also decided, now there are not going to be any place for niceties. The things that used to be said in press conferences, used to be said on social media, is now going to be said in Parliament. Now everyone's going to talk about George Soros. This is, jisko kehte hai, that now it's going to be aamne-samne ki ladai. And inside Parliament it's going to happen.
मैं तो मैं तो डर रहा था इस डिबेट में आने के पहले, क्योंकि शायद मेरे ऊपर भी आरोप लग जाता कि मैं जॉर्ज सोरेस के पैसे से मैं दुनिया में घूम के आया हूं, बट वो भी एक कैंपेन चला था मेरे खिलाफ. खैर, आई नेवर टुक इट दैट सीरियसली. नाउ आई एम टेकिंग दिस सीरियसली. See what is the
But what's the truth, sir? What's the truth for everyone who was asking you that? आप campaign था ही तो उसका सच्चाई भी बता दीजिए.
Let the government of India find out. Let the government of India find out. Like Hardeep Puri, I am saying, my life is an open book. Let anybody say whatever they feel like.
बता दीजिए, शहजाद पूनावाला. All these smear campaigns that you carry out, Ashutosh is at the receiving end, Rahul Gandhi is at the receiving end. उन्होंने तो सच बता दिया है, शहजाद पूनावाला. No George Soros, no Open Society Foundation.
I don't think Soros consider.
पद्मजा, ऑन अ सीरियस नोट,
आई थिंक
ये सब्सटेंटिव नोट में क्या कहा जा रहा है, बाहर क्या कहा ये जा रहा है कि राहुल गांधी पूरी जिंदगी के लिए आप बाहर कर दीजिए. किस लॉ के हिसाब से? पार्लियामेंट में कोई ऐसा लॉ है क्या? कन्विक्शन में अगर आप 2 साल से ज्यादा का कन्विक्शन होता है तो आप एक टर्म के लिए आप बाहर हो जाते. दैट्स ऑल. बाला साहब ठाकरे का एक बार ऐसा हुआ था, 6 साल के लिए उनका वोटिंग राइट छीन लिया गया था. I am really failed to understand and imagine that somebody who has been a member of parliament for many terms does not know the basics of the parliament. You can't debar somebody for the life. How absurd this whole story is all about. This is basically nothing else but a propaganda warfare to divert people's attention from Epstein file, from this American deal. That's all. Nothing else.
Okay, diversion and a sign of being scared, Shehzad.
Now, Padmaja, somebody is talking about basics of parliament. So did they not remember basics that 349 to 353 prohibit you from quoting from a unsubstantiated magazine during the President's motion? It did not let you know that there are rules in parliament that you have to show the book on the table of the house first. Then you can quote from a published book. It did not tell you that if you want to make allegations against a minister, you have to give notice, late, authenticate it in a proper manner as per procedure, not as per your kitchen in your Janpad. And then you have to make the allegation. And it did not strike you that you cannot go, just 10 seconds now, Padmaja, please 10 seconds. It did not strike you that the rules do not permit you to go and show finger to the speaker, or to call yard to the speaker who's from Assam, or to throw the paper and throw it on the face of a scheduled tribe speaker on the chair. That time you did not understand the basic rules parliament, Ashutosh. And Ashutosh, see, I don't think that Soros is investing in you. He has already invested in somebody more valuable like Rahul. So I absolve you of any links with Soros. But yes, I will definitely ask why Miss Sonia Gandhi is part of FDL-AP even as we speak, which advocates the separation of Kashmir from India. She is still part of FDL-AP.
So on the Soros funding of Ashutosh, the buck stops here. That will never be said again. You can rest easy, Ashutosh.
I'm greatly thankful to Shahjad for absolving me from all kinds of wrongdoings and the crime. Thank you so much. See, you can't have the 2 rules in the parliament. 349 very categorically says you cannot raise any issue or quote any magazine or anything which is not related to the subject of the day or the debate. From which authority the BJP member of parliament was quoting from so many books? What was it related to the presidential address? By any stretch of imagination? At least Rahul Gandhi had the guts to contest speaker's ruling. He did not quote in the house. He was contesting. I have a right to. When he was said you can't quote from the book, he said I will not quote from the book. I am quoting from the magazine. When he said you can't quote from the magazine, he said I will not quote from the magazine. I'll just describe this. He was contesting. Now the issue is very simple. There can't be 2 rules. Speaker, let that member of parliament speak for minutes and minutes about and leveling all kinds of allegation against the former prime ministers who are not alive.
Okay, very quickly, I will cut through all this technicality. We are going on and on about rules and substantive motion and privilege motion. The thing is very simple, Shehzad Poonawala. Today, the image is, or rather the accusation is, that you have decided to shut up Rahul Gandhi because he's becoming inconvenient, and you are going to do it in a draconian fashion by getting the House to vote, throw him out and debarring him if what Nishikant Dubey is seeking is allowed to happen. That you are basically zipping him and throwing him out of the House because he's inconvenient.
Padmaja, is it your contention that because Rahul Gandhi breaks the rule and Rahul Gandhi has a sense of entitlement and emergency and he finds no confidence in Speaker, Vice President, Prime Minister, President of India, Chief Justice of India, Election Commission, that we should allow all of Baba's tantrums to play out in Parliament? Parliament works by rules. It does not work by Parivar ka tantrums, first of all. Point number one. Point number two, if I am saying what is, if this is wrong, then you please tell me Ram Gopal Yadav ji has said that the manner in which they were planning attack on Prime Minister was wrong. So Ram Gopal Yadav ji is in my side. How come Akhilesh Yadav ji could give his full speech of 40 minutes and there was no interruption? How come?
Abbas Haider, if somebody doesn't believe in the rules, then they will have the rule book thrown at them. Abbas Haider. Let Abbas Haider respond.
Padmaja ji, leader of the president's address was based on national security. She has talked about Operation Sindhu. She has talked about Operation Sudarshan Chak. And leader of opposition was taking up matter of national security. So she cannot be debarred from speaking on the subject when he is well within his right. One thing. Second thing, Shehzad was, talking about
to speak on the subject
of Lok Sabha. Let's also talk about
who stopped him to speak on the subject?
Where a minister, if a minister or even the Prime Minister is lying on the floor of House, he should correct his statement, or a privilege motion can be taken out against him. And in this case, Prime Minister on the floor of House.
One second. Abbas ji, don't insult your leader. Abbas ji, don't insult your leader.
No,
one second.
No, Shahzad. Don't make a mockery. Don't make a joke of.
No, 1 second. I'll explain to you. 5 seconds.
Joke of this parliament.
5 seconds. I'm not making a joke. Rahul Gandhi is a joke. But anyways, Abbas ji, let me explain. Let me explain to you what I'm saying. We both are speaking at the same time, Abbas. Just let me explain to you. Abbas ji, I request you. I beseech you. You are spokesperson of SP. Don't undermine Akhilesh ji. You are saying that nobody allowed him to speak on national
on every
security.
channel you are saying कि मैं सुबह से शाम तक यही channel देखता
हूँ. Did Akhilesh not speak on national security?
कल भी एक channel पे कह रहे थे.
सुन तो लो, भाई सुन तो लो मेरी पूरी बात.
अखिलेश जी ने कहाँ कहा है?
Abbas ji, if you listen to me, you will understand. Please 5 seconds.
Please.
अबे मैं बता रहा हूँ ना, आप सुन तो लो. 10 सेकंड सुनो. आप 10 सेकंड काउंट करो मन में. 10 सेकंड मैं बता देता हूँ. आप कह रहे हैं कि हमने राहुल को रोका नेशनल सिक्योरिटी में बोलने से. हम क्यों रोकेंगे भाई? उनके परिवार का इतिहास देखो. 26/11 के बाद क्या किया? अक्साई चीन दे दिया, IWT दे दिया, कच्चा तीवू दे दिया, हाँ सब कुछ कर दिया. अब मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ,
आपने क्या किया सर?
चार टैंक घुस गए हमारे देश की सीमा में. आप जवाब, आप कह रहे अखिलेश जी गलत है.
बात को ना मानने, ना स्वीकार करें, ना रिजेक्ट करें. Either you are accepting it, neither you are rejecting it. आप रिजेक्ट
क्या स्वीकार करूं?
भाई देखिए सुधार तो तभी हो सकता है जब आप एक्नॉलेज करेंगे कि गलती हुई है. अगर आप गलती को गलती नहीं मानेंगे तो सुधार कैसे होगा? अगर कोई गलती हुई है सरकार के द्वारा तो आप बता दीजिए. अगर प्रधानमंत्री समय पे मान लीजिए कोई निर्णय लेने के लिए सक्षम नहीं है तो बता दीजिए ना. वो कह देते हैं जो समझ में आए कर लीजिए. अगर वो कह देते हैं वो.
अब आए मुद्दे पर. अब मुद्दे पर आए अब्बास जी. मुद्दे पर आए. मुद्दे पर आए अब्बास जी. 10 सेकंड
से भागना है.
अभी मुद्दे पे बात करते हैं. इसी मुद्दे
पार्लियामेंट से भागेंगे.
अब अब्बास जी सुनिए ना.
जहां प्रिविलेज मोशन नहीं लागू हो सकता वहां
अब्बास जी यू हैव स्पोकन.
प्रिविलेज मोशन 4 तहत आ सकता है.
अब्बास जी अब आप मुद्दे पर रहते हैं.
आंसर दैट.
आई जस्ट टेक 30 सेकंड स्टार्टिंग नाउ.
शहजाद पूनावाला रनिंग अवे फ्रॉम अ डिबेट.
हाँ मुद्दे पर अभी बात करते. हाँ पद्मजा जस्ट 30 सेकेंड्स. बट अब्बास जी प्लीज आई एम आस्किंग वन क्वेश्चन. उसके बाद मुझे कंप्लीट करने दीजिए. अब्बास जी ये मैगजीन है कैरावैन का. ये आर्टिकल लिखा किसने? आप आर्टिकल लिखने वाले का नाम जानते हैं?
बिल्कुल मैंने पूरा आर्टिकल पढ़ा है. मैंने 60-70 पेज का आर्टिकल पूरा पढ़ा. मुझे नहीं
say the name of the author.
किसने लिखा है वो
नहीं
है. हमारी सेना के पूर्व अध्यक्ष ने.
नहीं पता. चलिए छोड़ देते हैं. नो पद्मजा लेट मी कंप्लीट. नो पद्मजा लेट मी कंप्लीट. Padmaja, let me complete. Padmaja, let me complete. Now let me complete.
Chief is saying something that is important.
If you, Padmaja, let me complete. Padmaja, let me complete. Please let me complete.
और अगर उन्होंने नहीं लिखा होता वो बता देते ये झूठ.
Their allegation is. अरे भाई सुन तो लीजिए ना.
Issue is about the book was published or not.
Okay. Okay. Finish your point quickly, please. Yes.
Other now you have to listen, please, Abbas. Thank you, Abbas. Have patience. प्रधानमंत्री का आर्मी को फ्री हैंड देना एज पर यू, एज पर दैट वॉट एवर आर्टिकल, कि जो उचित लगे करो इज सपोज टू बी स्केर्ड एंड कावर्डली एक्शन. बट एक हमारे महान नेता थे जिन्होंने बोला अक्साई चीन गया तो जाने दो, वहां घास नहीं उगती. वो कौन है? हु इज द महान नेता हु गिव अवे कच्चा थी? वो हु इज द महान नेता आफ्टर गिविंग 93,000 prisoners of war did not take 53 soldiers back? Who's the Mahan Neta who did not do the nuclear test under US pressure? Who's the Mahan Neta who said that we will give civilian nuclear installations for international inspection? कौन है वो? बताओ.
People of India have given you chances for 3 times. 3, आपको हैट्रिक सरकार है और आप रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज नहीं ले रहे हैं.
Okay, let's not go back into history and talk about Kacha TV on 62. And for people who actually want to know about that, Nishikant Dubey has promised to build a library with all the books related to everything that has happened in the last 75, 76 years. So people should go there and read all of those books to find out where the blunders have happened and where India has thundered. But Karan Verma, my point is this. Now, basically, if we are going to have a situation where the leader of opposition is going to say that I am going to speak no matter what, and the Congress says that we will not let the House function until the LOP is allowed to speak, and the government says we are going to bring in a motion and throw you out, then basically we are looking at a situation where Parliament will not function. How will Parliament function? Both sides are saying we will shut you up. They are saying we will refuse to keep quiet. Parliament will not function.
No, Padmaja, I think that will not be a fair proposition. Rahul Gandhi is the one who's been the culprit here, quite clearly. And he's done this session after session. Whether it's Pegasus sometimes it's Hindenburg. He conjures up issues out of thin air and derails the Parliament. And my word to my good friend Abbas, Akhilesh Yadav, in one session, the last one, if I remember correctly, he chose to speak. He did not boycott the session. This time also he spoke. आप गलत रास्ते पे हो. आपके जो और spokespersons हैं, फराज किदवई ने साफ कह दिया, अखिलेश जी should be the PM, not Rahul Gandhi if we are elected. और भी हैं, आईपी सिंह साहब हैं, उन्होंने कह दिया भाई राहुल छुट्टी मनाते हैं, इज नॉट द प्रॉपर लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन. आप इतना फुटेज मत दो राहुल गांधी जी को. आपकी पार्टी में हवा कहीं और की चल रही है, यूपी इलेक्शन भी आना है, तो थोड़ा सोच के आप राहुल गांधी को सपोर्ट करो. ही इज द वन हु इज नॉट.
हम इंडिया गठबंधन के साथ हैं, हम इंडिया गठबंधन के साथ हैं, हर कार्यकर्ता की मेरी भी इच्छा है अखिलेश जी पीएम बने, लेकिन ये तो गठबंधन का निर्णय है, अभी उसकी लड़ाई नहीं है. यहाँ पे
क्यों है लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन?
हम लोग
अखिलेश जी क्यों नहीं है लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन? अखिलेश जी क्यों नहीं है लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन? जिम्मेदार है, बोलते हैं बात.
Why are you deciding the alliances on TV right now? You talk about this.
तो भाजपा में होता है कि मुझे ही पीएम बनना है. यहाँ पे इंटरेस्ट नहीं शो किया कि मुझे
फराज किदवई से
इंटरेस्ट एक है कि देश नेशन बिल्डिंग.
Faraz Kidwai said it, IP Singh has said it. Why is my friend Abbas not saying that?
No, I've been saying it for a long time, but that is my personal opinion. That is my personal.
Okay, let's leave this out. Let's leave this out. I'll give the final word to Ashutosh. Look, Ashutosh, basically the message now is that actions have consequences. If certain actions have been taken inside Parliament, the government or the BJP is saying there will be consequences, even if it means that Rahul Gandhi is out. The law will decide. The speaker will decide.
पद्मजा, 2 things. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, इसके पहले भी राहुल गांधी के ऊपर आरोप लगा था कि उन्होंने संसद के अंदर तो आंख मारी थी. एक महिला सांसद ने उनके ऊपर आरोप लगाया था. क्या हुआ उसके बाद? एक पुरुष सांसद ने लगाया था कि राहुल गांधी ने उनको धक्का दिया, उनको चोट लगी. क्या हुआ उसके बाद? कुछ नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि सारे आरोप फालतू थे, बकवास थे, सिर्फ मीडिया की हेडलाइंस करनी थी. देश एक चीज का जो जवाब आपकी डिबेट में नहीं मिल रहा है वो ये है अबाउट जनरल नरवणे. Does this government have no faith in the former army chief? Does government believe that he's not patriotic enough? Does government believe that he's not nationalist at all? 3 things. The Caravan magazine has quoted from the book. Neither General Naravane, nor Penguin, nor the government of the day has contradicted that. Magazine has not withdrawn.
Okay.
They still stand by, but the story it carries.
No, just to make sir, just a second. I think to make the factual position on that clear, the magazine claims to have quoted from the book. The publisher said that the book is not out, and General Naravane has endorsed that stand of the publisher Penguin. That is as far as the factual position.
Exactly.
Then that means either the Penguin or the General Naravane or the government should take the magazine to the court.
Okay, I'll give you only 10 seconds while you are at it, Shehzad Poonawalla, along with Rahul Gandhi, take Caravan to court. Yes, final 10 seconds. I really have General Dhillon waiting for me. Please, only 10 seconds.
No, Ashutosh ji, Padmaja's producer, I'm requesting you. At the start of the show, he said Naravane ji दबाव में है, and then at the end of the show, he says Naravane ji पे भरोसा नहीं. अरे आशुतोष जी, इतना यू टर्न मारोगे तो आप फिर से आम आदमी पार्टी में अंदर चले जाओगे.
Okay, I'm going to leave it at that because we have another big issue that we have to discuss today, and it is related tangentially to General Naravane's book as well. Gentlemen, thanks very much for joining me on Debate One, because it's a move aimed at tightening oversight of military publications. As per sources, the Ministry of Defence is considering new rules that would require retired army officers to seek prior clearance before writing books on their service, on their years in service. The Official Secrets Act, remember, continues to bind personnel for life, making the disclosure of classified or sensitive information a criminal offence. But there is currently no consolidated framework that specifically regulates publications by veterans. These proposed rules now seek to plug this legal grey area by formalizing procedures for permissions. Manuscripts that involve operational or confidential material will be vetted. But there are questions that are now being asked about whether this is going to result in a loss of transparency. Will people really be able to talk honestly about what has happened in service if there is going to be censorship of this kind? Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon, former General Officer Commanding of 15 Corps, is joining us now. General Dhillon, you yourself are a published author. Is this a way of trying to ensure that sensitive or uncomfortable details don't get out?
Good evening, ma'am, and good evening to your viewers. An honor code at least in the defense forces, that during my service career or during my various appointments which I may have held, if I am in know of certain things which are classified in nature, which have national security implications, those things will go with me to my grave or to my funeral. So that's an honor code. Although, like you also very correctly mentioned, there are no written instructions or rules or regulations governing the service officers writing books about operational aspects post their retirement. There are no specific service rules as of today. However, when in 2018, Mr. Dullat, along with the Director General ISI of Pakistan, Asad Durrani, had wrote a book. After that, there was a letter issued that intelligence chiefs or people who have dealt with intelligence, their appointments were given. They will not be writing about the intelligence aspects without clearance. Now, with General Naravane's book having come out and not having come out, it's not yet published, and the leaked excerpts, so to say, the alleged excerpts, now that having come into the limelight, I think there is a definite need to put things in place. For two reasons. One is, if I have served in the army or RAW or IB or BSF, CRPF or any other organization where by virtue of my appointment, I am in know of certain aspects, it is not free for all that I go out and write books about it and compromise on national security. My wisdom of judging whether I am compromising or not is not good enough. Someone who is sitting in the government, who is sitting in the chair today, has to vet my contents, has to see whether what I have written, the manuscript, does it in any way jeopardize national security. And Official Secrets Act is there when you are in service. We sign it every year. But after retirement, there is ambiguity about that also. So I think...
No, and which is why I wanted to ask, look, when you're out of service, shouldn't it be left to the discretion of somebody? These are all decorated soldiers, somebody who's writing a book, somebody whose book people will want to read. Shouldn't we also have the stomach to take a critical look at what has gone right and what has gone wrong? If the government now gets to decide what you write, General Dhillon, then only the good things will come out. Will we be ever be able to talk critically of what we could have done better or what we did wrong maybe?
There is a very fine balance, between freedom of expression and compromising national security. The point which you are making, if I have to make some critical points and I verify it with my facts and I get it approved, if those are not compromising national security or operational plans, then the government will approve it. All my 3 books have been approved by government, including the one on Operation Sandhu, which came out within 3 months of 10th of May. So there is nothing which stops you from going to print. But then there is a very fine line between the freedom of expression and what you can say and what you cannot.
But here, playing a devil's advocate, sir, critics will argue that if the government wants to hide something where it could get called out, because this is a very fine relationship also. Yes, there are, of course, the defense aspects, but there is also the chain of command and, the government decision making. Anything that is not very flattering to the government, they can say national security is compromised and hide it.
And this is the rule world over. The government of the day in every country decides what is good for that nation and what is not good for that nation. So it's a universal rule, and I would like to believe that each government in every country in the world would do the best thing which is good for their nation. Now, this point of yours, we can argue this point, and yes, to some extent, if somebody is not comfortable with the truth coming out, there may be a chance where the government may try and say, okay, you can't write this. So, but then in a way, they will have to give justification that this is compromising national security. But that is how it works.
Because
people democratically have elected that government to take decisions.
Fair point. But in fact, now we are in a situation where many people are arguing that OSA itself, Official Secrets Act, should be done away with. Because if there is anything that has happened, it should be out there. People should be able to discuss it, debate it. If it's happened in our country, it's happened at our borders. The people of India deserve to know as well. We are at that point where questions are being asked about the Official Secret Act, and instead of being more transparent, will we not end up becoming more opaque thanks to these new rules if they come?
Ma'am, just to give a personal example, I have been a corps commander in Kashmir during most critical times of Pulwama, Balakot, 370, and I have been a Director General of Defense Intelligence Agency. If there are no checks and balances, I know so much. Being in these two appointments only, I know so much. And if it was left to my discretion to just go out and write anything which I know, just because I want to tell the people that I am in know and you should also know, that is not the way national security works. National security works with checks and balances, and Official Secret Act is just one of them. The rules and regulations governing your conduct during the service and after the service, because you know certain aspects which are in national security, which are of national importance. Everyone cannot be let to decide for himself or herself. That would be catastrophic. Then everyone who will retire will write a book, everything he knows about the national security or operational plans, the nuclear aspects and the defensive plans, offensive plans. I think it would be absolutely mayhem. Not allowed to be, we cannot allow that to happen.
All right.
Cannot allow that to happen. But then there is a very fine balance, I'm saying again, which has to be maintained between the right to freedom of expression and how much you can express since you know so much.
So that's the thing.
You cannot allow everyone to go out there and just write whatever he feels he knows.
I think there is an inherent suspicion in the minds of people about governments in general. Are governments really capable of striking that fine balance, or will they actually be more inclined to err on the side of caution and shut up anything that is even a little bit uncomfortable? I will leave that open for the viewers for the time being. General Dillon, for sharing your wisdom. Thanks very much for joining us here on The Buck Stops Here. Time for a very quick break.
मेड इन इंडिया क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? मस्टर्ड ऑयल. इट इज आवर फ्लैगशिप ऑयल.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं. इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से.
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी.
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में. पी मार्क, द मस्टर्ड स्पेशलिस्ट सिंस 1933.
बरसों से सरसों.
Welcome everyone to the NDTV Master Stroke Art Award.
I find that the interest of the lay public in art has also gone up.
So the lifetime achievement in art.
I think thanks to NDTV for thinking of such a platform.
Please stay with us and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
so many attacks,
the chaos and cries of disaster zones.
to fighter jet cockpits and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
This is not a regular promo. This script is written by AI. The visuals you are watching are created by AI. The logo, the design, all AI generated. Even this voice isn't human. Because if we're talking about the future, we can't explain it the old way. AI is no longer arriving. It's already here. Understand what AI really means for society, for business, and for you.
From the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Rawat, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones, brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs.
Farm infrastructure and the innovation economy. Among the top decisions is the launch of the PM Rahat scheme, aimed at ensuring immediate medical assistance to accident victims. After shifting to Seva Tirth, PM said that these new buildings mark an important milestone in India's journey towards Viksit Bharat.
Made in India क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? Mustard oil. It is our flagship oil.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं। इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से।
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। P Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
सरसों से सरसों।
All right, team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decision. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide, and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma, and I am your automate.
The sharpest minds driving the global AI narrative. Policymakers, founders, technology leaders. Global perspectives, Indian priorities. The definitive conversation on AI. 18th February, New Delhi. NDTV In.AI Summit 2026. On the NDTV network.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They are now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arun, NDTV.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
From 1983 to now, I have seen cricket evolve, but the mindset to win never changed. I tell you that what win matches and what doesn't. This T20 World Cup, let's talk cricket, controversies and more on NDTV.
लोग कहते हैं कि जिंदगी एक फिल्म की तरह होती है, लेकिन मेरी जिंदगी सिर्फ एक फिल्म नहीं, एक ब्लॉकबस्टर फिल्म है। बचपन से पता था मेरे सपनों में दम है, आगे नहीं सबसे आगे जाना है, स्टार नहीं सुपरस्टार बन के दिखाना है। नाम मिला, फेम मिला, प्यार मिला, I was not just running, I was flying। सबकी जुबां पे बस एक ही नाम, यो हनी सिंगर। लेकिन फिर ब्लॉकबस्टर कहानी में आया एक ट्विस्ट। 7वें आसमान से सीधा गिरा मैं जमीन पर। फिर क्या, खुद पे काम दोबारा शुरू। फैंस ने फिर प्यार दिखाया, फिर स्टार नहीं सुपरस्टार बनाया। है ना मेरी जिंदगी एक ब्लॉकबस्टर फिल्म। शुक्रिया आपकी प्रेयर्स का और आपके प्यार का। कॉन्सर्ट्स तो आपने बहुत देखे होंगे, but this is gonna
Good evening and welcome to Left, Right and Centre. On the programme today, the Indian Air Force, after a period of so many decades, has got the firepower that it wants in the numbers that it wants. We're talking about the Rafale aircraft, and it is assumed that within this year, a huge deal between India and France worth upwards of $35 billion, some say, is going to be signed. What exactly am I talking about? And let's just go through the timeline of this. Now, the multi-role combat aircraft process began with the requirement for 126 jets to replace the MiG-21. That began way back in 2001. In 2004, the project became MMRCA, or Medium Multi-Role Combat Aircraft, with the issue of a request for information. Then, on the 30th of July 2015, and just note the number of years which have gone past, the original MMRCA tender was officially withdrawn. It was replaced by a deal for just 36 jets in flyaway condition. On the 23rd of September 2016, right, a couple of months later, India and France signed the intergovernmental agreement for 36 Rafales. In April 2018, there was a multi-role fighter aircraft process which was formally announced. The Indian Air Force didn't just want 36, they wanted more. So now from MRCA to MMRCA to MRFA, here was another process which was actually announced, a request for information for 114 jets. Now in April last year, the Indian Navy separately finalized a deal for 26 Rafale jets to operate from its aircraft carriers. And just a couple of days back, on the 12th of February, the Defence Acquisition Council cleared the acceptance of necessity for 114 Rafales. The Indian Air Force wanted this capability from 2001 onwards. They got just 36 jets. They wanted many more. It's taken 25 odd years for them to get these fighters, for them to get a contract signed for these fighters for the Indian Air Force, critical for their capability. Well, it's an incredible moment for the Indian Air Force, which for decades has been wanting rail capability in rail numbers. Well, they will be getting the Rafale. 114 of them will eventually be ordered. Eventually, I mean, it seems in the next couple of months itself, the acceptance of necessity is actually through. This is the capability that India desperately requires, given the threats that we face in our region, China and Pakistan primarily. Joining us to talk about this, two of the Indian Air Force's finest fighter pilots and leaders, Air Marshal Anil Khosla, the former Vice Chief, and Air Marshal S.V. Dharkar, again a former Vice Chief. Thank you, sir, very much, both of you, for being with us. Air Marshal Dharkar, let me come to you first. Did you ever think that there would be a day when, the Indian Air Force would get as many jets in as many numbers?
I guess, I believe that eventually one will get it. Yes, it will take some time. What will that fit be is something that we'll have to wait and watch. But given the current state of matters in our part of the world, I guess it's an eventuality that we will finally have to cater for and have to achieve.
Marshal Khosla, in very simple terms for a broader audience, what capabilities will the Rafale F4 and F5, which is what we're looking at, bring in?
Yeah, Vishnu, it's a hot topic today. The 114 aircraft deal, which has been lingering for a very, very long time. I mean, the capability of the Indian Air Force has increased manifold over the years, but it is the capacity which needs to increase. That is the numbers which are required. And of course, the final ultimate solution is self-reliance, Atmanirbharta. But if it doesn't work as far as the time frame is concerned, then you need to acquire from outside. That is why I think wise decision has been taken to acquire these 114 aircraft. As far as capabilities are concerned, the Rafale is very capable aircraft, in terms of various capabilities of standoff, precision, high altitude. I mean, you name it, it's an omni-role aircraft. And we already operating 36 in the Air Force and 26 in the Navy. So these numbers will increase, and the newer version will obviously bring in better systems and better as compared to the Rafale, which is already existing in the Air Force. So it will enhance our capacity as well as capability.
Air Marshal Dharkar, let me ask you, how does one use a 4+ generation aircraft against the threats we face from China, which includes stealth platforms? They've already deployed 200 or built 200, and they are now moving on to 6th generation platforms.
You heard this earlier saying that we will fight with whatever we have, but in practical terms, the generational shift is, there are no specific such bounds within what is one generation and what is the next. And given a trained set of hands to operate it and an environment in which it can be utilized to its full capacity, it is possible to pit these against whatever else the adversary may have and still come out on top. It is a possibility.
Air Marshal Khosla, as I understand it, the possibility that Air Marshal Dharkar is talking about is that the Rafale exists not as a standalone, but it operates within a system of sensors and a system of aircraft, highly integrated, where the threat which exists from China is catered for, and that includes the stealth threat, right? The ability to detect stealth, the ability to engage stealth.
Yeah, very right, Vishnu. You've touched upon a very, very important part. Actually, air warfare, if you see over the years, what is the shift which is taking place is earlier days, it used to be, pilot-centric. If you remember, the dogfight days, the capability of the pilot determined the outcome of the combat. Then it became platform-centric. The machines, the platforms, aircraft became more and more capable, more and more computing power, better avionics, better radar, better, tracking systems. The outcome depended on how good the platform is. That's how this 4th generation, 4.5 generation, 5th generation is coming out. Now it is all networked warfare. And also the armament, the weapons have become so smart that the combat is now becoming weapon-centric. So at the moment, it is not purely weapon-centric in the sense that you can ignore the platform, but where we are heading is the platform will have lesser relevance. It will just be carrying and, deploying the weapon, and after the weapon is being fired, it is fire and forget. It depends on not only the platform, it will depend on the network centricity, the radars which are tracking it, the systems which are guiding it, maybe satellite-based, maybe space-based. So that is where we are heading. So even if we get now 4.5 generation aircraft, I think we will be able to deploy it effectively in case we have the whole ecosystem going and the network going.
Air Marshal Tharkar, the Rafale F5, that's the ultimate variant. It may actually be the final variant of the Rafale. It's still futuristic right now. Presumably we would get that capability. Would ensure that a loyal wingman, an autonomous platform, which sort of sinks in with formations of Rafale and therefore presents a manned-unmanned option, is going to be absolutely key. Again, for the benefit of a larger audience, what does this mean?
And unmanned teaming is something that is making its way onto the actual combat stage in more and more numbers across the world. It allows you, or it provides that opportunity for a single cockpit-enabled platform to also utilize the capabilities of several team members, many of whom would be unmanned. So it's all about network-centric warfare, as Air Marshal Khosla pointed out, sensor fusion in larger and larger terms, the ability to both deploy and maneuver this entire group as a combined composite team, and the ability to do it in overwhelming manner while utilizing the individual capabilities of each of these platforms, so as to, in a 1+1 situation where 1+1 doesn't become 2, but possibly reaches 11.
Air Marshal Khosla, to me it seems absolutely clear that the Rafale deal is only worth it in a sense if they are willing to incorporate our weapons. And because it's not, our weapons are coming of age, not just the Astra or the Astra Mark II, but we are testing we are testing solid fuel ducted ramjet missiles, which ultimately will pave the way for an ultra long range air-to-air missile. This would ultimately need to be incorporated or in the Rafale's weapons package. Would you agree that this is key? It's not just French, it has to be Indian as well.
Absolutely. Vishnu, so there are three aspects related to this deal. I mean, when we negotiate with them, and now the negotiations will start. And it's a very, very important factor that we have the wherewithal to give us that the platform which we acquire, whichever version, like you're saying, the latest version of Rafale, that it should fit into our air combat ecosystem or the network, as you said. So that is very, very essential. What it means is basically that, firstly, all the weapons, indigenous weapons, if we want to incorporate, or we should be able to do, number one. Number two is that it should be able to talk to all the other platforms in the network-centric warfare. And number three is the most important. It should not scuttle our, indigenous program, but add on to our indigenous program by whatever technology transfer, and that is very, very essential. So these three aspects need to be looked into when we are negotiating negotiating the deal with them.
Air Marshal Tharkar, to me, the toughest part of the deal is the Atmanirbharta angle which comes in, not because of the policy, but because it has to be implemented. Now, the Tatas, TASL, is a partner now to Dassault. Presumably, they would be building, the structures of the Rafale in India. They have to deliver to incredibly high specifications. In the old MMRCA process, the reason the Rafale couldn't be built by HAL is because Dassault, the manufacturer of the Rafale, said that we will not certify what is built in HAL. Obviously now, they will have to certify, or these planes will have to be built to the highest standard. And that's going to happen over here in India. So there is a massive learning curve, right?
There is, yes. But to be fair to our industry and to be truthful in terms of how we are actually producing world-class goods today, not necessarily in the aerial domain, but all in all, we have come a long way from where we were. In fact, if the C-295 can be put together in India, it's a slight, yes, there is a small leap there, but I do not believe that it's something that we cannot achieve. And as a result, taking away just from the certification bit, I am sure as certain that we would manufacture absolutely world-class Rafales in India too. It's a transfer of technology issue. We've had India-specific enhancements, even on the initial Rafales that we acquired. And as Air Marshal Khosla had pointed out, integrating Indian weapons into this platform so as to make it part of the larger ecosystem, both in an Atmanirbhar manner, as well as so as to provide us that autonomy that we so desperately seek, should be possible. I'm sure we'll also be able to learn much from the manufacturing and transfer of TOT issues in order to develop and build our own platforms in due course of time.
And, I think what people, Air Marshal Khosla, don't understand or don't, or perhaps don't focus on is that there is, an ecosystem of aviation engineering which actually comes in. So it's not as if, there's one factory which the Tatas run and boom, they churn out the planes. No, a plane has literally tens of thousands, and that's a small number of components. And therefore, if there is a chain, of supply which is also Indian, it generates jobs. Italy generate thousands of jobs. And that's how you become an aviation player, going well beyond HAL. Would you agree?
Absolutely. So what happens in manufacturing is that it is not only the one agency which is manufacturing everything. It's not possible. So what happens is MSME comes in, a whole lot of suppliers come in, and obviously the jobs are generated for them. But the larger picture is, if you have these, supply chains which are extending too many places and maybe outside India, then it becomes a problem for sustenance. So if you have your own indigenous supply chain, then the sustenance becomes easy. That means disruptions are lesser. And secondly, when the need comes, you can scale up the production because you have control over your supply chains and the MSMEs. So that is a very, very important factor when you say Atmanirbharta. You may be able to assemble it, you may be manufacture it, but if you have no control over supply chain, later on it can create a problem for you. And obviously when small industries come in, obviously the jobs are generated. Okay, one more factor, Vishnu, in this whole gambit of things is that there needs to be one person, one entity or one organization which needs to take the full responsibility. There may be various suppliers, but the final responsibility of integration and dealing with the customer is one this thing. Like HAL, if HAL is integrating the whole thing, then HAL needs to take on you cannot give an excuse that so-and-so is not supplied to me, so I can't supply to you. So that is very important, that one major entity which takes on the responsibility of the whole project.
Marshal Khosla, you've flown on the Rafale, right?
Yeah, I've done, I've not flown many, but one on sortie I've flown.
And I know that Air Marshal Dharkar has, right? Air Marshal Dharkar?
Yes.
Yeah. So that makes all three of us. But Marshal Khosla, to you first, the reason I ask this is because if all the generations of planes that you have flown on, how did it feel like to be in a Rafale cockpit? The fact that the man-machine interface is so developed, again for the benefit of a larger audience, what does that mean?
Oh, it was a class apart. Whatever aircraft I have flown, as far as the technology is concerned, as far as the capabilities are concerned, air to air, air to ground, and everything, it was, feeling as if I've transported into maybe 15 years ahead of my time. That sort of feeling came to me. Having flown the other aircraft. The demonstration which the pilot gave in those 30-35 minutes of the sortie was really interesting. In both air to air and air to ground, you could choose, you can see the target on the radar. The sensors were so good at miles away. Even on the ground, you could focus onto the runway. We took Yalanka runway and we could see the aircraft lined up. We could designate, okay, third aircraft from the left. and then you designate as a target, and then you designate the weapon and continue doing something else. So I asked him, I said, what happens now? He said, nothing. We just keep doing whatever we want to do. When the target comes within the range of the weapon, it will automatically release the weapon and it will engage the target, both air to air and air to ground. That is one aspect. Second aspect is the flying part of it. You know, we have a lot of accidents. We have a lot of aircraft we have lost because of, conditions where disorientation is there. This aircraft, the autopilot was so good. He sets it up as, so-and-so height is the minimum height, then throws the aircraft around, leaves the control, the aircraft recovers on its own. And, starts flying straight and level at that height. I mean, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience.
Air Marshal Dharkar, you were a MiG-27 man, right, primarily?
Yes.
So you certainly didn't have the ability of looking on the air and on the ground at the same time. In fact, you didn't have a radar, did you, on your MiG-27?
No, not at all.
No, not even that. So, sir, again, as somebody who's flown on that technology, and I'm not shooting down the MiG-27. I know how stable a platform it was for its gun runs and rocket runs.
That's right. Yeah.
As a fighter pilot, what is the advantage of having the ability of seeing in the air and on the ground using the same radar simultaneously?
You know, two of the issues were already spoken of by Marshal Khosla, but I'd probably like to call that human-machine interface intuitive. There were so many times in that particular mission while we were doing, like he mentioned, doing one thing and doing another, and something was happening on auto in the background, that it was almost as though the aircraft and its design knew what the pilots would require next. And by the time you could think of, doing something, or either selecting a different mode or going on to a different set of switches, it would be there available in front of you. That interface was exceptional. And like I said, very often it almost felt like there was a unity between the people in the cockpit and the aircraft itself. The sensor fusion, the ability of its sensors and onboard equipment to kind of assist the decision-making model and be well within what the pilot would possibly want to do in a given set of circumstances was amazing. And I'm sure that the newer generation Rafales would only have built upon that even more than earlier.
Marshal Khosla, last word to you. The Rafale comes equipped with Spectra. It lies at the heart of the plane. It's a defensive shield. Again, for the benefit of a larger audience, what does Spectra do? How is it at the heart of the Rafale system?
So what happens is, Vishnu, over the years, when the aviation started in combat, the aircraft were very, very primitive as far as avionics and computing power is concerned. And in combat aviation, what is required is basically systems which are smaller in size and lighter in weight. That is the ideal situation. So in computing power, what has happened over the years is all the chips and all the computing power, the power has increased and the chips have become smaller and smaller, which is ideal for aviation. So now with the aircraft which are coming in, they are flying computers with extreme amount of computing power and lighter and smaller in size. So that is what is happening. So now they are controlling every aspect of the aviation, combat aviation. May it be navigation, may it be radar, pictures, multiple sensors, picking up the data, analyzing it and giving you the
Spectra as a defensive suite, Air Marshal, how does that work?
Okay. Okay, as a defensive suite, what happens is, the enemy also is getting technology and they'll also be attacking you. So you need to have sensors which can pick up what is being thrown at you. You need to have, electronic as well as, shafts and flares and means of negating that enemy attack. So once again, coming back to the same, these systems are integrated with all your sensors, and the computing power is such that, pilots load. Earlier, what used to happen is the pilot is visually seeing it, what is happening, interpret it, and then take appropriate action to negate that threat. Now, all this all automated in the sense this aircraft is capable of picking up whatever threat is coming to you, take appropriate action, and deploy whatever is required, whether electronic means or soft kill or hard kill, and take a decision and assist the pilot in doing that. So that's how it works.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, very much for being with us. Wonderful to speak to all of you. I'll be honest, I never thought that I've done this for 30 years, most of which has been about MRCA, MMRCA, MRFA, then only 36. I never thought this day would arrive. It has. It's unbelievable. The Air Force, after 25 years, that's when MRCA started. Some would say even more than that. It's getting the plane, the combat capability it wanted and has been seeking for 25 years. To me, that is the red letter moment. Thank you all very much for being with us. It's time for us to take this short break.
Made in India क्यों नहीं? हमारे पास क्या है? Mustard oil. It is our flagship oil.
और हमें गर्व है कि 1933 से हम पी मार्क कच्ची घानी मस्टर्ड ऑयल का उत्पादन कर रहे हैं। इस मूल्यवान स्वदेशी प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में हमने खुद को समर्पित किया है पीढ़ियों से।
माँ भी हमेशा पी मार्क मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। P Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
Across the fault lines of AI and geopolitics, he is shaping how the world responds to its most transformative force. Meet Chris Lehan at the NDTV in.ai Summit on the NDTV network.
NDTV 24/7, total domination in Davos. The world's biggest voices first. Iconic visionary Bill Gates. World Bank President Ajay Banga. IMF Chief Kristalina Georgieva. IBM CEO and President Arvind Krishna. India's AI Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. NDTV is India's voice in the world. First interview with Maharashtra Chief Minister. First interview with Andhra Chief Minister. First interview with Assam Chief Minister. India's first ground event in Davos. NDTV puts India on the global stage. Davos, domination, no debate.
Welcome everyone to the NDTV Masterstroke Art Award.
I find that the interest of the lay public in art has also gone up.
The lifetime achievement in art.
I think thanks to NDTV for thinking of such a platform.
Please stay with us and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
so many attacks,
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break, live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area.
North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
This is not a regular promo. This script is written by AI. The visuals you are watching are created by AI. The logo, the design, all AI generated. Even this voice isn't human. Because if we're talking about the future, we can't explain it the old way. AI is no longer arriving. It's already here. Understand what AI really means for society, for business, and for you.
From the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Rajkol, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
The sharpest minds driving the global AI narrative. Policymakers, founders, technology leaders. Global perspectives, Indian priorities. The definitive conversation on AI. 18th February, New Delhi. NDTV In.AI Summit 2026. On the NDTV network.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, on NDTV World. Namaste.
21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They're now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arun, NDTV.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
From 1983 to now, I have seen cricket evolve, but the mindset to win never changed. I tell you that what win matches and what doesn't. This T20 World Cup, let's talk cricket, controversies and more on NDTV.
लोग कहते हैं कि जिंदगी एक फिल्म की तरह होती है, लेकिन मेरी जिंदगी सिर्फ एक फिल्म नहीं, एक ब्लॉकबस्टर फिल्म है। बचपन से पता था मेरे सपनों में दम है, आगे नहीं सबसे आगे जाना है, स्टार नहीं सुपरस्टार बन के दिखाना है। नाम मिला, फेम मिला, प्यार मिला, I was not just running, I was flying. सबकी जुबान पे बस एक ही नाम, Yo Honey Singer.
Hello and welcome. You're watching News Night with me, Raisha Sehgal. On the show tonight, Tariq Rahman-led BNP is slated to win the polls in Bangladesh. We will tell you on the show what BNP's win means for India. Lots more lined up, but first, the headlines. India gets a new power address. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Seva Tirth. The new building houses the PMO, the National Security Council Secretariat and the Cabinet Secretariat. Vijay delivers his most confrontationist political speech in Salem. Goes all guns blazing against DMK. A death at the rally triggers a showdown. Rahul versus government escalates. BJP MP Nishikant Dubey pushes for Parliament panel probe on Rahul Gandhi's foreign visits. BNP storms to power in Bangladesh. Ex-Prime Minister Khalida Zia's son Tariq Rahman set to be the new Prime Minister. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dials Rahman, says India will support a democratic and inclusive Bangladesh. All right, starting off the show with some breaking news right now. The India AI Impact Summit 2026. At the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, leaders from the following countries are now scheduled to attend the AI Impact Summit. Well, we have Emmanuel Macron, French President Emmanuel Macron, Abu Dhabi Crown Prince, Bhutan Prime Minister will also be attending. The list also includes the Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Apart from the heads of nations, ministerial delegations from over 45 countries would be participating in the summit. The UN Secretary General and senior officials from several global organizations will also join the deliberations, which will happen here in India. And well, to talk more on this, my colleague Aditya Raj Kaul is now joining me live. Aditya, we have heads of 20 nations and delegations from 45 countries attending India's AI Summit. Talk to us about how, with this summit, India is being positioned as a major AI hub in the global south.
Well, certainly, this is a massive development coming in. Officially, the government of India has announced the India AI Impact Summit. You rightly pointed out, Rahisha, that the heads of governments of 20 nations, including, UAE, Bhutan, Finland, Netherlands, and many other countries would be coming here, including from India's neighborhood, from Sri Lanka, from Mauritius, and many other countries. We'll have ministerial delegations from 45 countries also participating. In all, we'll have high-level participation from more than 75 countries. The exact theme of the AI Summit is, of course, Sarjan Hitaya Sarjan Sukhai. And of course, we will see the focus of this on the 18th, while the overall summit is from the 16th to the 20th of Feb next week. On the 18th, there will be a gala dinner in which all the top leaders will be participating. We'll also have CEOs from Bill Gates to Sam Altman, participating in this. On the 19th, we'll have the formal inauguration in which the French President Macron and the Brazil President Lula would be participating along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That will be the formal launch of the summit. But overall, there are hundreds of sessions that are planned at the Bharat Mandapam and at the Sushma Swaraj Bhavan that the government of India has curated. There will be top AI voices from across the globe. Most interesting is the aspect of United States and China sending a large delegation to this particular AI summit. Now, India is being rooted as the top three, among the top three, countries in the world, which is innovating and providing AI models
And every passing day, there are new discoveries and new experiments around artificial intelligence that are happening. The Prime Minister's focus has also been on, creating India as an AI hub. And that's what will happen next week. The entire week, there are, a lot of events that are planned.
Right,
of course, Prime Minister will also have about 24 bilaterals during this event. So certainly a lot of progress being made on AI, and India certainly as the center stage of the global AI participation.
Right, Aditya, while all the global heads will be here in India's national capital, New Delhi, for the AI summit, talk to us more about what's in store. We've been told that the India AI Impact Expo will bring together 300 plus exhibitors from India and other countries. To name some, around from 30 countries, there will be exhibitors here in India's national capital, New Delhi. Tell us more about that.
Well, that's right. There's a global participation that is being seen at the Bharat Mandapam and at the Sushma Swaraj Bhavan. There will be, talks and panel discussions all across on, from healthcare to technology disruptions that are happening across the globe. The expo will see a lot of AI models being, shown there as well. A lot of countries have also positioned their own stalls at the AI summit. So this is going to be a game changer in many ways, a historic kind of a global event that is being hosted by India. It's being pushed by the government of India, but a lot of private sector, both from India and from across the globe, will be participating. In fact, I spoke to India's ambassador to the United States, Vinay Mohan Kwatra, who said that the United States, in fact, is sending the biggest delegation from the science and technology to AI departments of Trump administration to, in fact, trade and commerce as well. Now, remember, this is important because the India-US joint statement on a trade deal has been announced, and that is being taken forward in the form of AI collaboration and US participation in this global event. So it's going to be clearly a very historic, important, destination for AI, as Prime Minister Modi's focus on technology disruptions and artificial intelligence remains the top priorities of the government of India.
And absolutely, Aditya, India does emerge as the future AI tech hub, because right now, as we speak, India is no longer aspirational when it comes to the race in artificial intelligence. But with this mega summit here, a week-long AI summit in India's national capital, New Delhi, with heads of 20 nations coming here and various other delegations. Talk to us more about how this has positioned India as an emerging power in AI, especially in the global south.
Government of India's focus on AI has been there since last many years, but in the last 1 year alone, there have been a lot of events that have happened, a lot of collaborations also, and the push from Government of India. In fact, India's IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav recently spoke at Davos, and along with the IMF chief there, tried to correct her as well, that India is among the top 3 after United States and China when it concerns artificial intelligence, AI models. India, of course, being a manufacturing hub and the top destination in the service industry as well. So it's not restricted to service only, but there's a lot of innovation that is happening in AI, a lot of companies focusing on artificial intelligence in media as well. It is being utilized. So from different domains, experts, top voices
Aditya,
will be seen.
Aditya, we'll have to interject you there. Just stay with us. We'll come back to you in our next breaking as well. And shifting our focus to another breaking news, and this is regarding the Pannu assassination plot case. An Indian national has now pleaded guilty. An Indian man has pleaded guilty on Friday to orchestrating a failed assassination plot against a Sikh separatist in New York, part of a broader pattern of attacks against Sikhs across the world. Prosecutors had said that the man, Nikhil Gupta, had been hired to carry out the plot by an official inside the Indian government. The government has rejected that accusation. Mr. Gupta, who appeared in federal court in Manhattan on Friday, pleaded guilty to all 3 charges against him. And Aditya Rajkor, my colleague, is still here with us. Aditya, tell us more about this breaking news we're getting to you at this point of time, that an Indian man has now pleaded guilty in the Pannu assassination case.
Well, that's right, Rahisha. That's the big breaking development coming at this hour, even as the federal court hearing is underway, even as we speak right now. There's been a big development. Indian national Nikhil Gupta has claim that he is pleaded guilty inside the court. We'll have to wait and watch how this guilty plea has established. Is there some kind of a deal that has been done by the federal agency with Nikhil Gupta? The details will come out once the hearing ends. But this is a big development because the Indian government had rejected these claims that came in from Nikhil Gupta and also investigators in the United States. This concerns Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, who's a banned terrorist as per the Indian laws. His organization's SFJ, Six for Justice, is also a banned terrorist organization as per the UAPA of the Government of India. Now, this plot has been in talks since the last 2 years, ever since 2023, when Hardeep Singh Nijjar, a known Khalistani terrorist, was also killed by unknown gunmen in Canada. That deteriorated tensions and related developments between India and Canada. But as of now, it's a huge development coming in.
Right.
Nikhil Gupta, an Indian national, has claimed that he is guilty in this. Gurpatwant Singh Pannu has also given a statement to NDTV that, it's a big development, and of course he welcomes this. But certainly from the Indian law perspective, he is a terrorist and there needs to be action by both US and Canada in this. We'll have to wait for India's reaction that could come in by tomorrow.
Right, Aditya. Let's also just tell our viewers that Gupta has pleaded guilty on 3 charges. That's murder for hire, conspiracy to commit murder for hire, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. And Aditya, when we combine all these 3 charges, Nikhil Gupta, an Indian national, could be sentenced for 40 years in prison.
Well, certainly, it's a very serious crime, if it has been proven, and there is, of course, a plea that has been made of guilt. In this particular case, the maximum sentence could be to 40 years. Whether there will be some kind of a relaxation, if there is some kind of a plea bargain or some kind of a deal that has been established here, we'll have to wait and watch. But from the Indian government perspective, this is also a big development because at a time when India was pressing both Canada and US to take action against the Khalistani terrorists and elements, comes this big development of a claim by Nikhil Gupta. Now, was he acting alone or was he acting on directions of someone hasn't been established clearly because there were investigators pointing to Indian government's role, an intelligence agency that could have been involved in this. But India has completely denied the charges and said that they had no role to play, while an internal investigation was also launched by the Government of India.
Right, Aditya. It's important to even mention to our viewers that the Indian government has disassociated itself from any plot against Pannu, and we'll have to wait and see what reactions we get from the Indian government right now after an Indian national, Nikhil Gupta, has pleaded guilty in the Pannu assassination plot.
That's right. That is the latest that we are picking up. In fact, in the last 2 years, there were a couple of statements issued by the Government of India on this, saying that there was an internal investigation and inquiry that was ordered that is being carried forward. But at the same time, disassociating and rejecting any kinds of claims that came in from the US or from the banned terrorist organizations regarding a plot to, assassinate a Khalistani. A lot of these claims have been made, but the evidence has not been shared with the Government of India. So that is very crucial at a time when Trump administration and of course the Modi government are very close at this particular stage. We'll have to, of course, wait and watch for the developments that take shape right now and see how the Government of India reacts to this development. There are, court directions that have come in, but of course the court hearing is still underway. We'll have to wait for that court hearing to end to also wait for Government of India to come out with a statement.
Right, Aditya, we'll have to see the statement